Welcome to the Sex, Money, and Real Estate Podcast, the show for real estate couples about how to close more deals in the bedroom. My name is Bill Jameson.
And I'm Nancy Jameson.
And each week we deep dive into juicy, intentional, sexy conversations, sharing with you what it takes to create balance in your intimate relationships and your real estate business. Thank you so much for being here. Shall we begin? Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
What's going on?
Oh, my goodness. Here we are again. I love it.
There is, we do have an abundance of time right now.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. It's nice. It is
I love
nice.
it.
Yes. So, and that's actually a little bit of what this episode is about, as you can tell from the title.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
And before we get into the episode today, though, I definitely wanted to talk about a little bit of magic.
Okay, I'll go first.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yes.
Okay, you go first.
So magic, as we define it, Bill and I define that as our ability to influence ourselves, others, and life in an empowering way. So I wanted to share a little bit of listener love that we received, this beautiful 5-star review as my magic today.
Nice.
So this is from Haley H333. Thank you so much, girl. She says, life changing. Go listen ASAP. I'm in a phase of my life where I am up-leveling every area, and it's refreshing to listen to them. I look up to them, and I'm determined to have a relationship like them. I know.
That's awesome.
Humbling and beautiful and accurate.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, our relationship's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's super fun and sexy and mature and all the stuff. And yeah, I appreciate that review for sure. For sure. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm complete.
Nice. I'm going to give you a couple snaps on that one.
Thank you.
Awesome. My magic today is we define the magic as we have empowered life-changing things go on with regards to self, others, and life. And I'm going to go with life today.
Nice.
And I influenced life by digging into our CRM.
Our database.
Yeah. I sent out one email in the midst of all this, the corona and all that kind of stuff, and have already revitalized some old leads. We're hearing back from people that I haven't communicated with in a while, which is awesome. And I'm really just digging on having these conversations and coming from contribution. I sent out a pretty cool email all around,
Forbearance, I think it was, right?
Yeah. And
Mortgage
it has some great responses on it. And so I love being able to help and define what forbearance is for others. And, I'm sure they're using it as a tool. And again, just to have some people come back and say, oh, it's so great to hear from you and go from there. So it was cool. It's really cool.
Hear the stories and where everybody is right now. I mean, that's the whole point of reaching out and connecting with people is building that relationship. And,
yes.
I love it. It is. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending out that email again.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's fun to do.
I mean, we've been doing lots of different touch points.
Yeah,
for
reaching
sure,
out and stuff, but it hasn't been anything like formal. It seems like we've gotten so many emails from so many people. Here's how we're dealing with coronavirus, or or whatever, and it got a little overwhelming how many we got from Amazon and from Foot Locker and from anybody that had, it's almost like they use it as an excuse to communicate rather than just communicating regularly anyway. And I didn't want to be like that, reaching out to our clients and our friends and our sphere generally. So to have something to, generally offer, that did relate to the times felt pretty amazing too.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, a lot of times when on the show, all the time, actually, not sometimes, all the time, we talk about the JAM method, which really is around our coaching methodology, how we do it, where we come from. And I'm wondering, Nancy, if you would like to have a little, a quick definition download on what the recap on what the JAM method is.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just like Bill said, it's our coaching technique that we teach to all of our clients. We actually utilize the tools to teach the boys as well. And it's it's anything that equips us with joy, abundance, and maturity that we have used specifically to evolve our relationship personally from too complacent, sexless, codependent a couple, and turn that into thriving individuals that now synergize and multiply and thrive as a couple. So, just having a full understanding of what that is. And so basically, what is the JAM method? So it's an acronym for J is joy, A is abundance, and M is maturity. So joy, are you creating sustainable joy in the face of your circumstances, in the face of your life, whether it's business or personal and beyond? Abundance, are you experiencing abundance mentality in all areas and giving gratitude for that and recognizing it? And then finally, maturity are the accountability practices and the empowering relationships that you put in place intentionally to multiply your gifts and talents and essentially, keeping what you learn and earn. And so the result of that is what Bill and I call the JAM method, which increases your emotional and financial peace in all of your relationships. So the relationship component is related to the sex and money. And then it relates also to your business, which is the money and the real estate. And so all of that is interconnected.
Yes, for sure.
So that's our JAM method.
Nice.
Absolutely. Joy, abundance, maturity.
So, and the realization that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if we can help to empower you at home with these things, we know that they'll empower you at work as well.
Oh, absolutely. Because it comes from personal. Your personal is in place and thriving, then your business is proportionally going to do the same. It doesn't come from business, it comes from personal. So today's topic is all around shifting your scarcity mentality to abundance mentality. And really, like, what the heck does that even mean? I mean, that all of that stuff is thrown around just like, this, that, or the other thing. Like, everybody's expected to know what the heck that means. And, for some, it sounds a little woo-woo-y. And, you and I are definitely practice consciousness, and we also like the science behind it too. And so what are like the practical things to move from scarcity to abundance? So today we are definitely talking about the abundance mentality in the JAM method. And so the interesting thing is, you've heard Bill and I talk about this a lot before, is that we practice Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We definitely practice at a high level being principally centered. And so the terms were originally coined by Covey in 7 Habits: scarcity mentality and abundance mentality. And so scarcity mentality refers to people seeing life as one finite pie, so that if one person takes a big piece of the pie, it actually leaves less for everyone else. So,
which sucks because I love pie. Just saying.
What kind of pie is your favorite?
You know what? I have a couple of them. You know, if it's my birthday, I might like a blueberry pie or a rhubarb pie or a rhubarb strawberry pie.
Yeah, strawberry rhubarb.
And any other day of the year, I might like, like a French chocolate silk pie of some kind.
Really? Have we ever made that?
No.
I don't think we've ever made that. We did get you a...
Hashtag opportunity.
Okay. All right. Hashtag stay in home date night opportunity.
Oh, yes. yes. See? Brilliant.
That's great. We did get you a strawberry rhubarb pie from the pie shop in Buckhead.
Which was...
Oh my gosh, there was nothing left.
It was amazing.
It was delicious. It was
people in the South had never heard of rhubarb. And we had a bunch of friends over who had never heard of rhubarb, and then they got one taste and they're like, oh yeah, rhubarb for life.
Yeah, we got to do that again.
Totally. So funny.
That's awesome. Anywho, so back to pie.
Okay, so anyway, yes, pie.
Yeah, so scarcity, characteristics of scarcity are what? Anxiety and fear. Having not enough of, and if I win, then that means that you lose. Fascinating thing. So, well, I'll get to that in a second. Again, just some more context around what scarcity is. Scarcity is the choice. I love this part of the book. He talks about how it's a choice and that it's a habit that you keep choosing over and over again until it's a behavior, which ultimately then turns into a paradigm. And how he puts it, Covey puts it, is scarcity is a zero-sum game.
Yeah, it's a lot of programming, right? I mean, these habits, this program, you pick it up from others. A lot of times we pick a lot of this stuff up when we're kids, from our parents or our family or friends. There's a lot of places you could pick it up from. Probably, I mean,
early
teachers,
right.
church.
Yeah, early grade school teachers for sure.
And then obviously, I think the big one is the media for sure. I mean, are we out of toilet paper right now? Well, not you and me personally, but
no,
like
no,
the
not.
planet in general. Yeah.
Constant negative news.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
All
So people with the scarcity mentality have a difficult time sharing recognition and credit, power or profit, right?
Yep.
So, if you're the mindset is, if the scarcity mindset is, avoiding risk, Nance, then what would you say? Like the abundance, what would be like the opposite of that?
Finding opportunities or definitely taking a calculated risk for sure. Possibilities. Yeah.
What's another one? Like maybe, it gives the more you give, the more it costs kind of thing. Like that whole, like, I don't know.
In other words, the more you give, the more you get, or the more you receive.
Yeah, that would be the abundant way to look at it for sure.
Yeah.
What else comes up for you as, from the scarcity to the abundance?
The scarcity side first?
Yeah.
I would say compete.
Yeah.
Versus collaborate.
As opposed to like a win-lose kind of thing.
Yeah. Competing over collaborating. Yep.
Yeah. With scarcity mindset, I mean, you believe everything is limited, right? You end up collecting things, like I said, like the toilet paper right now, or, there's certain food items out there I think that there's less of because of the current climate. Scarcity mindset also can manifest as jealousy, right?
Suspiciousness versus trusting behavior.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be relationships. It could be financial relationships. When it feels like somebody has all the business, like in real estate, right? Like, you look at that other realtor, that mega agent, they always have all the business. They don't do anything. Well, I wonder if they have a little bit different mindset than maybe you're radiating right now.
Yep.
So, and the great thing about the abundance mentality is realizing that no matter where you are, whether it's your sales or your relationships, that you actually really created it all. Right? So giving gratitude for that.
Yeah. Yeah. What you focus on expands.
So
because it works both sides.
Right.
It works for the negative or the disempowering experiences and the positive or the empowering experiences.
Absolutely. So stop and ask yourself, and we're talking to you out there, outside of money or, even inside of money, where else do you have the habit or practice of the scarcity mindset? And it's a habit. It's like a go-to almost. So I'm going to ask you, baby.
Okay.
Is there like something that comes up for you when you think about, you're scared? I'm sure there's some things that come up for you that are scarcity mindset.
No, I'm perfect.
Yeah. You are a 10, baby.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So where else have we had the habit of practicing? What's the question?
So where does scarcity mindset come up for you currently, right now?
All right. So I would say I'm going to go back to I'm going to go inside of money and watch how this is going to relate to this. So money. So there was a point where I didn't want to share our money, even though we had, we did have money for, a lot of the time that we've been together, but we've experienced, poor times too. And that even though my spirit was nudging me to share the money and give or tithe, I didn't trust that life supported us to the point where I didn't trust myself that I could create more money. And I certainly didn't have the faith that we were always taken care of. So it created this this lie that I believed over and over again. And the lie was that, again, life didn't support us. God didn't support us. We couldn't go out there and create money at all. It was fascinating. And yet the realization was that there was never a day that we weren't taken care of. Never.
Right.
Like even when they turned our lights off, we still had our amazing health. We still had the love that we had for each other. We still had food in the fridge. We still had our home. I mean, even the freaking cats were healthy, so
True.
like we still had everything. And then again, the lie was that I kept choosing to tell myself over and over and over again. And it was crazy. So because of the lie, we created the same circumstances, recreated the same patterns over and over again. And, we call that the roller coaster of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that pattern or paradigm of scarcity, it kept presenting itself until the point where I chose to accept the responsibility for that and the responsibility of those choices in that pattern, to look money in the eyes, to look at our lives. And really, when that happened, our lives and our lifestyle truly began to change.
Absolutely.
Dramatically.
Absolutely.
So it was, it's a fascinating, like, even though it started as money, it really was questioning my faith and questioning the abundance of it all. So I I really appreciate that. And it's very humbling. So, by the way, if you want to check out we did do an episode on the roller coaster of real estate and how we evolved out of that pattern and that conversation. I think that episode is 14, if I remember correctly.
You have a great memory, by the way.
Thank you, darling.
And I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Your abundant memory.
Yeah. So thank you. So I'm complete with that.
Awesome. And I want to, I love that you used that example because we've both gone through that. We've experienced it together. And, even though the paradigm may have come from, different areas in our lives, because obviously we didn't, we've done a lot of growing up together. We didn't do all of our growing up together. Yeah. I think it's a great example. And what it comes up for me is how, you can heal something to a certain point and feel pretty great with it, but you may not complete the healing and it'll come back up again for healing, or you may heal it up to a certain point and then, you kind of almost like hit the pause button, right? And then it comes back up for another level of healing where I think it's just all beautiful. So, and I think that just recognizing it starts the healing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's definitely an ongoing process.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, okay, boop, I'm finished with healing that. It is an ongoing process. And at the end, we do get to some tools and action steps that the majority of these, like, we have an active practice around. So
totally.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question since you put me on the spot.
Don't do that.
Well, then you ask yourself. Okay,
I'll ask myself.
Question.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
Yes, Bill. What comes up for me around scarcity that I am continually working on is like around time and capacity. It's something that I continue to work on and heal. It feels like I have a super duper busy life, and sometimes I have that, that little special thing going on where I'm busier than anybody else. We have a few businesses and the boys, and you and I, and all the beautiful relationships that we have outside of us. It's felt heavy at times, and I never knew it felt heavy, and then what I also realized is that it was heavy and it was showing up in my body, whether it's, some stiffness in my shoulders or my hips or wherever. It's because it's all, it's all energy, and it's emotionally heavy. So it's, I don't know, and it shows up just through being more stressed and not letting things go as much.
So you're saying that the scarcity was that you felt your time or your capacity was limited?
Yes.
And that there was too much going on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah. Well, no, I wanted to make sure that I was understanding you correctly.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there.
Okay.
So, and then with the abundance mentality, on the flip side of scarcity, you have the abundance mentality, right?
Yes.
And you believe there's plenty for everyone, including yourself. Instead of that win-lose, like a football game or...
most games are set up that way.
Most games are set up as a win-lose.
Yeah.
When you come from abundance, it's win-win. Mm-hmm. It represents unlimited possibilities for your business and your growth and development and all your relationships and all your wheels.
Yep.
So in BNI, I'm not sure. BNI is an international business.
Yeah.
It's a business networking.
International.
International. Oh yeah. They have a slogan called "Givers Gain."
Mm-hmm.
And basically that's what they're saying is that what goes around comes around, right? Being proactive with donating your time or your resources, and that it always comes back. What slows it down is being attached to what it's supposed to look like when it comes back to you. Ooh, I gave $5. How come I don't see a $10 bill in my pocket? Like super attached to how it's supposed to come back around. If you give that, and I'm just using this as an example, but you give that $5 to, the church or, to a charity or something, it may come back to you in a totally unexpected way, with a new coach or, a new friend or something that is infinitely more valuable than, that $5 or $10 bill.
Yeah. Countless number of examples around that for sure.
When you sit there and attach to what it's supposed to look like, that you gave 5 and you get 10 back, that's when you shut down all the other possibilities around it.
Yeah, and you're back in scarcity.
And that's
where's mine?
Exactly.
Tit for tat kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go with this abundance thing.
Okay. Oh, same question.
Same question.
All right.
Where stop and ask, and I'm asking all y'all out there to do the same thing. Where do you see abundance now where you never did before?
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes up to me, comes up is the story that I share. Well, I share this game, and it's a story because it's countless numbers of stories because I've played this for a long time. But I share this with all of our coaching clients, and this is actually how one of the ways that we taught the boys about abundance was the yellow car method.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
So the yellow car method is that the automotive industry, of all of the normal, finger quote, normal car colors, yellow is the least popular in terms of how many yellow cars there are out in the world. Now, obviously, forget about neon green and orange and purple and turquoise and all those things. Like I'm talking, like traditional yellow, traditional car colors. So yellow cars. So when you see a yellow car, I don't know. I remember this is an old stat, but like only 14% of all the cars created were yellow. So that when you see a yellow car on the road, or yellow car, yellow truck, whatever, Penske truck, all of those count, school buses, basically like to ground in the sighting of that and go cha-ching, like boom, and I identified it with prosperity at first, like, oh, look, prosperity's all around us, or, right. Oh, look, and so what it's evolved into over the last 10 years is every time I see a yellow car, to me, it represents that the universe has my back, that I will always be provided for. And without a doubt, things are working in my favor. Boom. End of story.
Right.
No question.
Yep.
100% faith. So I teach this to the boys, the yellow car method. And what happens is now I go out, and you guys, if you're driving out, I mean, real estate agents thankfully are essential business, but if you're not and you're still going out, there's not a whole lot of traffic on the road right now. And regardless if I'm appointment to appointment, whatever, like there's no question of a lie, I will see anywhere between 8 to 10 vehicles that are yellow.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. So we've also played this game with dollar signs to where we'll drive around and like we'll look for dollar signs or representations of money. So ATMs, cash, bank, dollar signs on billboards, or those amazing real estate signs of like coming soon, $1 million condos going up or whatever. So, and then we'll add up all of the money, and it just represents all of the money that is constantly surrounding us at all times.
And if it's not, this is a great example. Are you complete?
Yeah, I mean, I can go on. I mean, we've played this game a lot.
Yeah, and we've done it with many other things. Butterflies, I remember being one.
Yeah, butterflies. Gosh, that was beautiful. We had it was like we would play on the way to school and home from school. So during that time of like 30 minutes, how many butterflies could we see? We did it with crosses. Like how many crosses did we see in 30-minute time frame? And it's just, again, it's tuning us into the abundance that surrounds us at all times. And then again, practicing what you focus on expands.
Yep.
I mean, we've done it with triangles, we've done it with squirrels, we've done it with all kinds of stuff. And it's amazing.
Yeah, and giving gratitude for it. whatever that expression is. How cool is that? Or, this is amazing and I'm surrounded by that, whatever it looks like, but give gratitude for it because we're surrounded by it.
Yeah, it was really cool. I always remember we were on the way to school one day, and the three of us, it was me, Rex, and Luke in the car, and we were playing with the dollar signs. And from our front door to school, we made like $5 million.
Yeah.
Like from all of
cool.
Like the actual dollar sign. It was amazing. And for them at the time, I think that they were like 10 and 11. They were like, oh my gosh, money's all around me. And I was like, yes, that's it, kid.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was beautiful. Your turn.
My turn.
Your turn, lovey.
You know what? I've met it. Let me think about it. Okay. Yeah. So I think the same thing around scarcity is the very thing that I'm having breakthroughs on around capacity as well.
Sure.
Giving myself space to see that it's my judgment, right? Around the capacity, or it's my perspective. Yeah. The timing, thinking that I am the only one here to shoulder, I'm finger quoting here too, the shoulder the things, or thinking about anything that as a burden as opposed to abundance, whether it's, the clients, the kids, the everything, the activities all around it. I mean, I created it all. I created all this shit, and it's not shit. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And, and knowing that everything's going to get done, everything is okay. And even if it doesn't get done, that's okay too.
And it's all working out in your favor.
And if it's all working out in my favor, and that's been the biggest thing. So I've meditated, trying to get to the root of where that came from for a while. I was like, where did this come from? And then what I really realized is that it doesn't really matter where it came from. It's more about, me being present to it, recognizing that, consistently, that I can consistently recontextualize it. So, some of that recontextualization comes around meditation or the habit of recognizing the gratitude despite whatever position I'm in that moment. And then, lots of conversations with others to help recontextualize it as well. So it's really empowering for, to influence yourself to recognize that the abundance is all around. Like we talked about a little earlier, it's a shift in perspective, so other ways to recognize abundance out there is maybe to go out to a park and lay down in the grass, and don't think about it as grass. Think about it as blades of grass. How many are you surrounded by right now? If we can get back to the beaches anytime soon, lay in the sand. How many grains of sand are out there?
That's one that we talk about a lot. The grains of sand.
Yeah.
Stars in the sky.
Stars. Yeah.
When we go camping.
Yeah.
It is. It's amazing. It's all amazing and magnificent. And I feel like your abundance conversation also gets back to, yes, you are a very powerful creator, and it's having the faith that you are going to rock and roll in all of those creations. I think that can get away from you too. Like that conversation around scarcity, like I can't handle it all, or I'm overwhelmed by it. And the shift in context, or what you're calling recontextualization, a part of that is actually accepting the responsibility for it and go, no, man, I created this. I can rock this out too. Like this is, of course, yeah, I am that powerful.
Absolutely. And that's playing to win. That's the win-win. Anything else really is playing small, and then you're playing a win-lose game, and then you're in victim, and down that road
and
you can
all
go.
Of those are scarcity mindset concepts, playing small instead of thinking big, and victim instead of possibility. I mean, all of that. That's fascinating.
Golly, this is a big subject.
It touches, it is. And it touches so many different wheels, so many different areas of our lives. So we can go on for a long time about this for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
So moving forward, think about some of the tools. What comes up for you around that?
Well, the first one is, if I go back to my example around, like not wanting to share our money, like I remember all right. So the tool is to give.
Right. So tools to help get into that abundance mentality
Yeah.
is what I'm referring to.
Yeah. So the tool is to give.
Okay.
Is, if you don't feel like there's going to be something like some type of pang associated with, oh my gosh, like I've got to keep this, or I've got to keep this for myself, or keep this for us, or, this is mine and I can't, if you have that feeling, that is the very indication of, the need to give, or an opportunity. I don't want to say need, but it's an opportunity to give. Like, even if it's $5, like you're practicing sharing, you're practicing that abundance, as opposed to, the scarcity, and the scarcity is the keeping. Like, I'm going to keep this for myself. No, there's plenty to go around. You're practicing. There's plenty to go around. So give for sure.
Yeah. And give can come in many different ways.
Yeah. It could be give money. It could be give time. Could be give clothes, donate, give food, all kinds of stuff. Did you have something else?
No, I was thinking about time for sure. Giving your time as well, or any other resources. Go through. It's beautiful living here in America and all of our abundance, and I feel like we generally all have a lot of stuff. So go through your stuff. What are you really using? What's necessary and what's not, and give to charity, give some of that stuff away. Or even if it feels like, one of the things and I remember this one from a while ago, actually, one of the things I did in one of our small groups when we set a goal for a week was to give something away that I did really care about.
Oh yeah, to practice that, the release of the attachment.
It was a few years ago.
That's fascinating. But like a shirt or something.
Yeah, I gave away like one of my favorite things. Something I was, I'm going to call it an attachment, something I was attached to.
Yeah.
And I gave that away, and
awesome.
And was in that feeling. So that was cool. Gosh, I forgot about that. It's been a while.
I wonder if you noodle on that, if you remember all of a sudden if there was something that replaced it that was even better, I'm going to say better than what it was that you gave away.
I'm going to have to think about that. I don't know what it was. Cool. Okay. Awesome. And then another tool could be, is gratitude.
Oh yes. Gosh, we talk about gratitude. Like gratitude is it. Gratitude is the pillar tool. Like if all else doesn't work for anything, go to gratitude.
Yep.
Like we talk about gratitude, like our practice of gratitude is such at an all-star level. Our podcast could be called the Gratitude Podcast.
I love it.
I mean, it really is. It's like the number one thing.
The next thing is to teach, right?
Yes, for sure.
Teach others the distinction of scarcity and abundance mentality.
Yes.
It's easier to notice when someone else has the scarcity mindset than it is to recognize it in yourself, right? So whenever you catch someone else believing in scarcity or, deep in it, use it as an opportunity to reinforce your own belief in abundance. It doesn't mean that you have to take every single person aside and preach to them. But if you're starting to recognize it in others, ho'oponopono, you'll see, you can also identify where it is in your life as well. So,
and at what level you are practicing abundance mentality.
Yeah, where your maturity is.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's definitely, teaching it is the mother of all repetition. So it's,
and if it is teaching, if you get into that teaching, I think it's, obviously coming from love, and not,
righteousness.
Or
like,
thank you. That's
like
great.
a make wrong kind of thing. Yeah.
Totally.
Awesome. I love it.
Another one could be and is surround yourself with abundance-minded people.
There's that environment again.
All about environment.
Yeah.
Create win-win situations.
Yep.
Practice gratitude, like we talked about.
Yep.
Practice recognizing the possibilities. There are multiple outcomes to everything. You can be like Doctor Strange from the Marvel movies, and he sits there and meditates on all the the 10,001 different possibilities that could come up, and create something that's going to be a win-win in your life.
I think it was over 1 million.
It probably was,
or 14 million, and there was one outcome.
Yeah, our Marvel fans will probably have a word with me after this.
Fact check.
Yeah, right. And at the end of the day, remember that, what you believe is what you receive. What we say a lot around here to the boys is what you focus on expands. So whatever it is, And what really, I love this too, and what really separates unhappy people from happy people, and it's a bit, is the abundance mentality.
And embracing it.
Yeah, embrace it. Oh my gosh.
It's embracing it. It's practicing it. It's living it. It's helping others move from that unhappiness to happiness. Yeah. Smiling.
Yes.
Beautiful. Oh, I love it. I love it. Anything else, my love?
I think I'm going to say, give yourself space. Give yourself space to practice.
Oh, to go through it?
To go through it.
Yeah.
There's another saying we have around here, but it's go slow and get there fast. Take your time. Be patient. If it takes, it could take a day or two. I mean, or it could take years.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about how long did the practice take to set in?
Right.
You've been practicing scarcity mindset. Some of us have been doing it decades. And
whatever it takes to create the healing and get into that space, it's still a drop in the bucket compared to everything else. And the reward is so much greater than the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what comes up for me.
Yeah. You underestimate you underestimate what you can do in 5 years and overestimate what you can do in one, I think is what Gary says.
Yeah, Gary Keller.
Yeah, it's fascinating because I will share with you. I mean, think about this. I mean, just if you look past in our 5 years, the past 5 years, like we're in 2020, so 2015. Come on. I mean, it's just it's astounding what has happened in 5 years. So, and it feels like it took a day, like where we are sitting now. It's like, boop, we did this overnight.
Yeah, I know it does. It really does.
Looking back now, hindsight 2020. What?
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Well, thank you for the lively conversation. Again, I always feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg. So, and that being said, it probably is. I know it is because, this is the root of a lot of our coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and awesome. If y'all are interested in finding out more about our coaching, please give us a shout at sexmoneyrealestate@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can find us at the same on Instagram. And direct message us or Facebook.
Yeah. Hit us up.
Hang
out.
Questions.
Love to
feedback,
have a conversation with you.
Something you'd like to hear about would be amazing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
So, cool. All right. Well, have an amazing day yourself, baby.
Yes, you too.
See you on the other side of the mic.
Thank you.
And love goes out to all out there too.
Bye, guys.
Wow. What a show. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're inspired, we ask that you share the podcast with one person and subscribe and follow the show. I'm Bill Jameson.
And I'm Nancy Jameson.
And remember, it's a great life.
Quick note about the Sex, Money, and Real Estate podcast. We are not doctors or licensed therapists. We are a joyous, abundant, and mature couple passionately sharing our story of growth around sex, money, and real estate. Our thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are our own, so please consult your doctor, healthcare provider, or your broker regarding any questions or issues you have related to your physical or mental health or specific state laws regarding your real estate business.